Snow White is actually written by Greta Gerwig, who also wrote Barbie, and Lady Bird and Frances Ha. We've been talking about her a lot recently because of Barbie, but also she's one of my favorite writers and directors. I've liked her since high school, so this pains me because what she is doing with Snow White seems absolutely terrible.
Dude, I trusted you. I trusted her.
Because she's involved, I want to believe that this movie will have some redeeming qualities. Will I actually watch it? Probably not, but I hope that it does for those of you who do watch it. But the lead actresses, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, are making it very, very difficult for me to believe that there is anything redeeming about this project whatsoever. Now, I am sure that we have all seen this viral clip, but let's just watch again.
You were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be,
Oh.
and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Oh my god, it's a really incredible story. You're making this girl boss story based on an important father figure. Her father tells her to be brave and strong. Don't you think that there's something redeeming about men in this story? Oh, that just stood out to me. This is the first time I noticed that, even though I've watched this like 6 times now.
Just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
I am. Why do they look so smug? They both have that look on their face, just like the feminists, like, yeah, we're so much better than you. Anyway.
Recent events have taken the Snow White saga to a whole new level. The battle between Brett Cooper and Rachel Zegler isn't just about 2 actresses, it's a full-blown cultural showdown. Brett Cooper, the YouTube sensation turned actress, has found herself at the center of attention, not only for starring in the Daily Wire's rival adaptation of Snow White, but also for the shocking controversy surrounding her alleged forced exit from the company. While Cooper has stayed silent on the matter, speculation is running wild. Are financial troubles shaking up the Daily Wire? And what's really going on with CEO Jeremy Boring's erratic leadership? Meanwhile, Cooper's casting as Snow White is being celebrated as a victory for fans who long for the classic fairy tale magic, something Rachel Zegler's modern feminist take seemingly rejected. Zegler has faced major backlash for her comments on the original story, and she hasn't held back in slamming Cooper's faith-based adaptation, calling her critics outdated. But her fiery remarks have only fueled the controversy, deepening the divide. This isn't just about Snow White anymore, it's a culture war playing out in Hollywood. Cooper's version is being hailed as a refreshing return to tradition, while Zegler's approach continues to stir heated debates. And with the Daily Wire's rumored financial struggles adding more drama, the stakes are higher than ever. So here's the big question. Did Disney go too far by rewriting a beloved classic to fit today's narratives? Or is Brett Cooper's faithful adaptation exactly what audiences have been waiting for? Buckle up, this battle is just getting started. Intro, intro, intro. And just when you thought things couldn't get more intense, the Daily Wire itself is reportedly drowning in massive financial troubles. Internal whispers suggest that CEO Jeremy Boring has been making some highly questionable moves, allegedly even bugging the office in a desperate attempt to get ahead of the crisis. This behind-the-scenes turmoil only adds to the intrigue surrounding Brett Cooper's rise as Snow White in the Daily Wire's rival production. The timing is everything. As Cooper steps into the spotlight, the tension between her and her former employer is impossible to ignore. Could this chaos behind closed doors impact her performance, or will it only strengthen her as a bold new hot force in this high-stakes Hollywood showdown? But there's more at stake than just one movie. The Daily Wire's struggles are casting serious doubt over its ambitious push into the entertainment industry. Meanwhile, Cooper's Snow White adaptation is gaining momentum, celebrated for its faithful return to the original fairy tale. The real question is, can the Daily Wire survive its internal collapse and still hold its ground in Hollywood's cultural war? Now, let's take a step back and break down exactly how we got here. Intro, intro, intro at first glance, this might seem like just 2 actresses with different creative visions. But dig a little deeper, and it's clear. Rachel Zegler's reaction isn't about defending storytelling principles. It's about something much bigger, a fight for public approval in an industry that's quick to turn on its stars. There's no denying the competitive tension between Zegler and Brett Cooper. Zegler, once Disney's rising golden girl, is now facing a massive PR crisis after her dismissive remarks about the original Snow White alienated longtime fans. And just as her reputation starts to crumble, in steps Brett Cooper, a total Hollywood outsider from a politically charged platform, who has fully embraced the role of Snow White with genuine love for the classic fairy tale. The contrast couldn't be sharper. While Cooper's enthusiasm for the role has won over audiences, Zegler's performance, criticized as overly modernized and disconnected from the character's roots, has only fueled backlash. Add to that her own controversial comments, like admitting she hated the original film and only watched it once, and it's easy to see why fans have turned against her. Now, with Cooper's Snow White adaptation gaining momentum, Zegler's sudden wave of criticism feels less like a creative debate and more like a last-ditch effort to undercut her competition. Is this just professional rivalry, or is insecurity driving Zegler's defensive stance? One thing is clear, this isn't just about two actresses. It's about two opposing storytelling philosophies. Zegler's Snow White was meant to be a modern, independent leader, aligning with Hollywood's recent push to rewrite beloved classics for contemporary audiences. Cooper, on the other hand, represents a counter-movement, one that prioritizes preserving the integrity of timeless narratives. Zegler may believe that sticking to the original story is outdated, but her outright disdain for its classic themes of love, innocence, and tradition has only alienated audiences further. Instead of owning up to the backlash surrounding her own portrayal, she's chosen to redirect the conversation, attacking Cooper's version in what looks like an attempt to delegitimize it. But ironically, all this does is reinforce Cooper's position as a symbol for those who feel Hollywood has lost its way. Meanwhile, Snow White fans, tired of studios rewriting their childhood favorites, are rallying behind Cooper's unapologetically traditional adaptation. What could have been a healthy creative discussion now seems like a desperate attempt by Zegler to reclaim a spotlight that's rapidly shifting toward her rival. The question is, can Zegler turn things around, or has Cooper already stolen the crown?
You're the one in that trailer, and I'm still so excited and I get chills.
There I am, Gary, there I am!
The whole thing is just so cool. The moment when the music starts to crescendo as I turn around, when I first heard the music, I was like, stop right there. That's just so amazing. Funnily enough, I recorded the song without hearing the rest of the trailer's score, so I had no idea what it would sound like. I had no idea what Jeremy and his team were envisioning, and he was actually writing the song and writing the music in between takes while he was directing Pendragon. We were texting back and forth trying to figure out the right key and what it was going to sound like, and he was sending me messages like, I'm so sorry, I'm in the middle of, a glacier valley in Italy and my songs aren't going through, but we figured it out.
And I saw myself on screen and I just wanted to throw up. I was so happy about it. And it was the most incredible experience. And the fan reaction was insane. We didn't even see what they were clapping for. I think it was good. I don't
The
know.
sizzle.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything.
Rachel Zegler may have thought she was the face of Snow White, but the latest developments have completely shattered that illusion. While she's been drowning in relentless backlash over her dismissive attitude toward the Disney, classic Brett Cooper's sudden rise as a rival Snow White has flipped the entire narrative. But Cooper isn't just challenging Zegler on screen, she's also caught in her own off-screen battle, making this the most intense Snow White showdown yet. For months, Zegler has been facing brutal criticism after clips resurfaced of her mocking Disney's 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, calling it weird and outdated. She even bragged that her version would be nothing like the original. Fans were furious, especially when she claimed Prince Charming was a stalker and insisted her Snow White wouldn't need saving. Instead of embracing the classic themes, Zegler seemed determined to rewrite them, completely alienating Disney's core audience. Then came the bombshell. Disney announced that the live-action Snow White wouldn't even include the Seven Dwarfs. Instead, they'd be replaced with a diverse group of magical bandits, a decision that left even Hollywood insiders scratching their heads. Critics slammed Zegler for pushing an agenda rather than respecting the beloved fairy tale, and things only got worse when she rolled her eyes in an interview, laughing about how she had only watched the original once and hated it. Disney initially tried to defend her, but the backlash was too much. The controversy spiraled out of control, forcing Disney to take drastic action, delaying the movie's release to 2025. Some reports even suggested that Disney was secretly reworking the film, desperately trying to avoid another Marvel-style box office disaster. And just when Zegler's Snow White seemed to be falling apart, Brett Cooper entered the picture. Her rival film Snow White and the Evil Queen did exactly what Disney refused to do: stay true to the original story. Unlike Zegler's reimagined feminist take, Cooper's version embraced the fairy tale's classic magic, complete with a traditional Snow White and an actual prince. Suddenly, Zegler wasn't the only Snow White in town, and her version was looking worse than ever. Fans who had rejected Disney's modernized remake immediately rallied behind Cooper's film, hailing it as the real Snow White that audiences had been waiting for.